What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are back for another live stream. Today we are watching the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers as they just finished up the second period of play up in Boston. So far from what we've seen in this game, obviously the standings, we're going to take a look at that in a second. But for today's game, it is 2-1 Bruins. So kind of going over a summary of how things have kind of played out so far. There we go. That's a pretty good indication, right? 16-21 are the shots. A lot of hits in this game, a couple penalties. Overall, a pretty even game for the most part between the Bruins and the Panthers. What I fully expect in the third period is for the Panthers to give everything they have. They are trying to fight to get this division. They want to win the conference if they can, but they need to win the division. And beating the Boston Bruins would definitely help with that. Now, in the first round, this doesn't necessarily matter, and if neither of these teams make it to the second round, it might not matter even more than that, but it's really home ice advantage later in the playoffs if you get there, which obviously you're hoping to. So it doesn't necessarily matter, but if you're trying to go on a run and you want to have home ice advantage, that could be the difference in Game 7. Depending on how things go. So it doesn't matter, but it does matter at the same time. So we'll see how things play out the rest of the way. Kind of looking at the standings right now. We've been doing a lot of standings, scoreboard watching. But you look right there, right? They've each played 77 games. The Panthers have the tiebreaker. They have 48 wins this season compared to the Bruins' 45. But the Bruins have 10 extra overtime losses. So that just shows you the difference right there. How the Bruins have been able to pick up those extra points. That is the difference at this point. So, as crazy as that is, that's how this works in the current NHL. And as long as the Panthers win today, they are very much in the chase still. It's going to be with 4 games left. After today, it is going to be extraordinarily difficult for the Panthers to catch the Bruins if they go down 6 points today. That would pretty much be the dagger. I mean, 5, you're not really liking your odds going down 5 points to them at this point, but going down 6, I would say, is pretty much insurmountable. So for right now, I'm actually watching the Met game because we're waiting for the rest of this game to kind of go on. But we have a couple of other games that are on today. So some of the other games in action. There's another game at 3:30. Let's take a look. Yeah, so there was another game between the Dallas Stars and the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are actually winning that game right now, 3-1. A goal by Seth Jones, Andreas Athanasiou, and Connor Bedard on the power play. But Dallas has since then made it 3-1 with a goal from Rupe Hintz. Another game in action right now. They're in the second intermission, just like our game. That also started at 3:30. The Winnipeg Jets with a 3-2 lead over the Minnesota Wild. And then, of course, our game, which is 2-1 Bruins in Boston. The games tonight, we have a one more matinee game out in San Jose. The Sharks, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, hosting the St. Louis Blues, who are fighting for their playoff lives right now. This is a big game for the St. Louis Blues, a very winnable game. That should be an easy 2 points. This is a big one here for the St. Louis Blues. 7 o'clock, we have a couple games on that time slot. We got the Flyers heading up to Columbus. Another one where if the Blue Jackets want to play spoiler, this is the game to do that. The Maple Leafs going up to Montreal to take on their rival Canadiens. The Devils and the Senators meeting up in Ottawa at 7 p.m. Eastern. The 10 o'clock games, we have the Oilers taking on the Flames in the Battle of Alberta. That one's going to be up in Calgary at the Saddle Dome. And then, of course, Vancouver and Calgary, which is expected to potentially be a first-round matchup in the Stanley Cup playoffs, depending on how things play out. The Kings hosting that one over the Canucks. So we'll see how things go. Of course, the other game, our matinee game that was this afternoon earlier today, it was a 5-4 win for the Pittsburgh Penguins as the Penguins continue their dominance here over the last 2 weeks. Of course, once again led the way by Sidney Crosby. But don't forget Geno Malkin. Malkin had 2 goals today, his 24th and 25th of the season. And just like that, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who last week were out and way out of a playoff spot, as far back as 6 points out, now they are in a playoff spot right now. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in a playoff spot right now. And if the season ended right now, here today, the Pittsburgh Penguins would get in, and the Flyers are out of a playoff spot. So we'll see how things end up. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Luis, for jumping in here. And Luis, this is for my Panthers fans out there. Figured this was the right stream to put this on the screen, so hopefully you guys like that. So right now the playoff picture looks very, very interesting and is still wide open in the Eastern Conference. As you look at the standings, it's kind of hard to ignore this spot right here. So we got the Metro, right? Actually, this is not the standings I wanted. Let me fix that. Let's go to conference, yeah. There we go. That's what we're looking at, baby. So this is the standings right now. So 6 of the 8 spots in the Eastern Conference have already been clinched. The Rangers and Carolina in the Metro, the Bruins, Panthers, Leafs, and Lightning have all punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which means the 3rd spot in the Metro, which the Islanders currently hold, is in place, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So just to show the race right now, the Islanders with 83 points, they have 1 game in hand over Pittsburgh and Philly, who each have 83 points. Washington and Detroit, 82 points. They are also still both in the running. It is incredible how tight the race is in the East. If you sneeze or fart the wrong way, you will not make the playoffs in the Metropolitan Division at this point. And Detroit is still in the mix there. And it's one of those things where, so this is what Luis is saying. So he's saying, I want the easiest matchup in the first round. That might be, as crazy as that sounds, that might not be playing one of those wild card teams, Luis, because whoever does get into the playoffs is going to be the hotter team, right? The team that's won the most games here in this final 5-game stretch. So of those teams, they're actually filtering each other out, and they're actually going to be a pretty good team if they get into the playoffs, unless literally everybody loses their way out and it's just whoever manages to scruff up 2 or 3 wins over the next week. So we will see what happens, but I am really excited to see this playoff this season, because I have to say right now, looking at the way that teams have been playing recently, there's been a lot of fighting. There's been a lot of aggressiveness. This is good hockey, and this is good for the sport. I'm really excited for the playoffs. We're starting to see matchups like this one with the Bruins and the Panthers. That's going to be a great playoff series if they end up meeting in the 2nd round or potentially the 3rd round, depending on how things go. Oh, man, I'm so excited. I really, really am. And hopefully you guys are as well. So we're going to watch a little bit of the Dallas Stars and Blackhawks game. Just while we wait, we still have 5 more minutes till the beginning of the 3rd period out in Boston. And it looks like a goal is under review. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but ooh, that's going to be an interesting call. I think they're going to call this a goal because the defenseman pushed Gavrik Bork into the net, which it's nice seeing Gavrik Bork in the NHL. Very nice. He is a really good. He's been a good prospect for the Dallas Stars. A lot of people have been hyped up waiting for him to make it to the NHL. And Louis says, I'm rooting for the Islanders to squeeze in, even if that's a low chance. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. And they did call it a goal. Wow, so Dallas with the goal. So they were down 3-0, and now it is 3-2. So the Dallas Stars, let's see if they can complete the comeback here. This should be good. Wait, they're calling it no goal? What is going on? They just said it was a goal. Now they're taking it back? What? Oh. Oh my god. So the ref makes the call and he said it's a good goal, but he meant to say it wasn't. Oh my god. Jeez. We're still waiting for this game. Come on. So the third period should be starting here any minute. Um, so what we're kind of hoping for here, honestly, I would like to see the Panthers tie the game just to see how the Bruins react. We'll see what happens though, because this has been a tight game defensively. Neither team has gotten. I think the Bruins have 21 shots. The Panthers have 16. So far, it's been a very defensive game in terms of just not giving up a ton of opportunities. And, they haven't been the most disciplined. The Panthers have 5 penalties. The Bruins have 4. So these teams have been taking penalties. They have not been the most disciplined. But, yeah, through the first 2 periods, Boston had 9 shots in the first period and 12 in the second. And then for the Panthers, they had 7 shots in the first period and 9 in the second. So this has been a pretty good game so far. This is what you would expect from playoff hockey between the Panthers and the Bruins. This should be a good third period. I'm looking forward to it. I think they're getting ready. You gotta stop doing that. He's licking. Licking. So the Panthers have a plus 33 goal differential in the third period. All right. Let's see if they could get it done here. Let's see if they could tie this game. And for the Bruins, this is a really good test for the Bruins. They've been playing well recently. They had a little bit of a stretch where they weren't playing their best. They seem, now that the playoffs are in their sight, it seems like they're revved up, they're ready to go, and they're back to their game. And even in games where they didn't play their best, like the Capitals game, they still found a way to win that game, even when they didn't play their best. And that's really going to be important for them here. 31-1-8 this season for the Boston Bruins when they go into the third period with a lead. So that should tell you things look pretty good for the Bruins. We'll see if they can hold on to it. And we got an icing basically right away. I don't know what happened to my screen. I think I fixed it. All right, I think we are good. Panthers are getting some good chances. Oh, I thought that was going in. Wow. Oh, man. There you go. The nice little scuffle up. Oh, my God. Carlos saved the goal right there. Bennett was about to pop that thing in. Wow. Good defense by Carlo. Better save by Olmark. There's a lot of questions about what the Bruins are going to do in between the pipes moving forward because they do have Allmark and Swayman, but are they going to be able to keep them both? That's going to be tough for the Bruins. So we have a power play for the Bruins. Whoa! And McAvoy just tripped him. What was that? Wow. So this is good. This game's getting a little bit chippy. McAvoy taking the skates out from under Lindell. Got a nasty hockey game in Boston. Hell yeah. All right, so 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. And we are now basically 5 minutes into the third period. So the Bruins hold possession. Barkov, whoa. Let's see. Panthers, they have a chance. Oh, good save by Olmark. Panthers playing with some urgency. Let's see if they can cash it. And there you go. Barkov on the rebound. And we are tied in Boston. That was a bad rebound by Allmark. Went right over to Barkov. And Sasha Barkov, the captain, ties it up for the Florida Panthers. And who took that shot? Because that was definitely on purpose. It looked like that was a purposeful shot. So Sam Reinhart, of course, with the shot. Perfect deflection to Barkov. What's going on, Robert? Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're a Bruins fan and you're happy. Or hopefully you're a Panthers fan and you're happy with the Panthers scoring. If not, let me know what fan you are or what your favorite team is. So there you go, Barkov. So now we still have a minute of 4-on-4. Let's see if anybody else can cash in here on the 4-on-4. That was really wide open both ways. But the Panthers, you could tell, they were playing rough. They wanted a goal there. That's big. And that's a 7-game point streak for Barkov now. Very, very nice. That's basically since he came back from his injury. Hold on, guys. Give me a sec. Look at that. So nice. So what's going on, Robert? So we have a Rangers fan in the chat. All right. I take a lot of pride in Ranger fans liking my channel because I tend to give them a lot of heat. So since I take a lot of pride in having Ranger fans on this channel because that shows my non-bias. So I love that. Love seeing Ranger and Devil and Flyer fans here in the chat. And things are getting freaking ugly in this game. What's going on, Ange? You should be watching your videos.
I am.
Okay. See, you have another Ranger fan in there.
Yeah, you.
Can you hear me in the audio?
No, I'm on the computer.
You're listening to the thing? Okay. Okay. So we are back to even strength. The Panthers already have 13 shot attempts here in the third period. So the Panthers definitely are playing hard. 3-on-2. Nope. Good defense by the Bruins. Another great save by Olmark. All right. Kevin Stenley coming down the middle of the ice. He looked like a real pro right there. Damn. All right, so that's the first TV timeout of the third period. By who?
I don't know.
Who knows the address?
I don't know.
One of your friends?
There's a duck on my car. Look at the handle. Look at the handle. There's a blue duck.
Oh. When did that happen? What? That's so weird. It's kind of scary, honestly. That's creepy. I don't like that one bit.
She goes, I said, oh, haha, one of your friends. She goes, no idea. It's a stranger came in the driveway.
That's a lovely thought. Now we have strangers coming up and ducking your car.
I don't like that.
No. That's like stalker. That's stalker type shit.
I don't like that at all.
No. That's creepy. Who's your favorite NHL team? Robert, you're probably not going to be too pleased with the answer. I am a New York Islanders fan. Dallas was about to tie the game, and he tripped. And guys, I will go back to the Panthers game. I'm just watching the end of the Blackhawks Stars game. This is one that the Stars are going to really want back. So the Dallas Stars outshot the Blackhawks 44-17, and the Blackhawks are about to win this game 3-2. This is unbelievable. What an effort by Peter Mrazek. Unbelievable. Wow. That is insane. Wow. That sucks for Dallas. That's a tough loss. Oof. That's ugly. Wow. All right, so let's go back to our game. And what's going on, Daniel? Daniel, your boy. Are you hoping for a Bruins-Panthers second round? Absolutely. I would love to see these guys meet up in the playoffs. That would be great. They have a good chance to make it to the playoffs. Robert, we were talking about this in the beginning of the video. Who are you talking about? Is it the Islanders or the other teams? Because there's like 5 teams in the East that could get a playoff spot. I'll show you the standings real quick because you'll understand what I mean. Islanders, Pittsburgh, Philly, Washington, and Detroit. Basically, all 5 of them have a chance to make the playoffs. So, I assume you mean the Islanders, but... So we are halfway through the third period. The Panthers have tied it at 2. And it seems like they're buzzing for more. They have really taken it to the Bruins here in the third period. The Bruins look a little bit out of sorts. Islanders, yeah. Listen, last night the Islanders got a lot of help. All 3 of the teams they needed to lose last night lost. The Red Wings lost to the Rangers, so thank you to your Rangers beating the Red Wings. That helped out the Islanders. We have a high sticking. Oh. So a chance for the Bruins on the power play to maybe take this game. Did Pittsburgh won today, which was big for Pittsburgh. Yeah, so all 3 of the games that needed to be lost. So the Flyers lost 4-2 to Buffalo. The Capitals lost 4-2 to the Hurricanes. And the Rangers beat the Red Wings 4-3. All of those helped out the Islanders. Then today, the Flyers need to lose to the Blue Jackets. That would help the Islanders. And they really needed Pittsburgh to lose to Tampa, but they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was a big win for Pittsburgh. And now I think that's 5 in a row for the Penguins. Wow. 2-goal game for Malkin. Crosby got a goal. That's scary. If we're seeing those guys on a 5-game winning streak scoring goals, Pittsburgh is by no means out of it. And I am so dead wrong because literally not even 2 weeks ago, I was saying how this is a lost season for the Penguins and they're going to miss the playoffs and the goaltending doesn't look good. And here they are. Alex Nedeljkovic has completely torn it apart. Or Nedeljkovic? Is it Nedeljkovic? Either way, he has been sick for the Penguins. And did he play again today? I think he played again. Yeah. Nedeljkovic had an .882 save percentage, and he's still... I think that's... If I'm not mistaken, I think that's his 6th or 7th start in a row. He has played a lot of hockey the past 2 weeks. So maybe they'll give him the next game off, especially with the way this game's gone. They might give him a breather, but god damn, the Penguins, man. Robert, are you a Yankee or Met fan? I'm watching some of the Met game right now. They had a 5-2 lead. I'm afraid to look. Oh my god, it's 5-4. Are you kidding me? I can't. I can't watch the Mets. Holy god, I am not ready for baseball season. So the Bruins on the power play. Let's see if they can get anything done here. McAvoy, Marchand, Van Riemsdyk. I still can't get over that. The whole season, James Van Riemsdyk on the Bruins is just sick to me. I can't. Being a Flyer and a Leaf for as long as he was, seeing him in Boston is just weird. It is so odd. Oh, Robert's a Yankees fan. Okay. All right. Better off. Better off that way because I'm already a Met fan. I'm ready for next season of the NHL. That's where we're at right now in terms of the Mets situation, so 8 minutes left. 2-2 is our score. And the Bruins have turned the momentum back. So right after the Panthers scored that goal, it seemed like they had a lot of momentum. But it kind of seems like the Panthers have, not to say they've let off the gas, but I think that power play here for Boston really gave them some momentum. They might score a goal here in the next 2 minutes. I have a weird feeling right now with the way this game's going. It could go to overtime, but I think both these teams want it. Like, they both want it before overtime. They don't want those pity points in overtime. We'll see. If you guys have not already, make sure to like this stream. We've been doing really good with the streams recently. I did 3 straight streams in a row, and then I took off the last 2 days. I just needed a little bit of a breather. And there really wasn't a ton of like great games on. So I figured, you know what? This is a game I really wanted to do. Like, I've had this on my calendar the past 2 weeks. This game between the Bruins and the Panthers. They played each other the last time, which we did a live stream for, and this one. This is the type of matchup going into the playoffs. I have a hard spot for this one. Especially with the way things went last year in the playoffs. It's such a great developing rivalry, like a good divisional rival. And here comes the Panthers. 3-on-2. Oh! Great save by Olmark. Great save. Wow. And I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think of the Bruins 100-year anniversary jersey? I think they're sick. I think I like the white one better. But the black jersey, I'm watching them play right now. It is That's a cold-ass jersey, man. Holy crap. That is beautiful. And the logo patch on the shoulder, really beautiful jersey. I almost wish they went to this full time. Is this...
What's wrong?
Oh no, Cody's looking at the duck. I wasn't sure because
Get it?
I don't know, he's probably getting it. Yeah, that was so weird. I still can't. I have a weird question for you guys. Have any of you ever been ducked? Where you get like a duck on your car or something like that?
It's a Jeep thing.
Oh, it's a Jeep thing?
It's a Jeep thing.
Oh, that's even weirder.
It's a Jeep thing. You didn't know that?
No.
I wonder why it's never happened to you. It only started happening when I got this car.
I just thought people hated me.
Is he still inside?
I don't know. Nah. He left it though. He left the duck there. That's so weird. Oh. Your little Jeep cult is quite weird. They do a lot of weird things. They have the weird Jeep. If you're going by in a Jeep, you have to do like the Jeep. What is it called?
Jeep wave.
The Jeep wave? It's so stupid. Whatever. So the Panthers got away with a trip. There was a clear trip and they didn't call it. I think they're just letting the boys play. 5 minutes left. 2-2 game. This tight of a game, you don't want to give anybody a power play. But I could tell the Bruins fans look a little agitated. I think they wanted a power play there. Back to Winnipeg and Minnesota. And it's 4-2 Jets. Minnesota's wearing their booger jersey.
Huh?
It looks like boogers. It's like a light green. It's the Minnesota North Stars jersey, but it's like green and yellow. It looks like boogers.
Why didn't Cody get this thing off my car?
Well, he didn't want to touch it. He didn't want to. He doesn't know if you know about it or not. Who do you think have a really good chance of winning the Stanley Cup? Honestly, that's a great question, Robert. I'd be a billionaire if I knew the answer to that. I don't think anybody truly knows the answer. That's why the playoffs are so great. Literally any team that gets in has a really good chance. Minus one of the wild card Eastern teams. Whoever of these teams that gets in, whether it's the Islanders, Flyers, Capitals, it's probably going to be pretty tough for them in the first round. But everybody has a chance. There's a reason. It is so hard to make the playoffs in 2024. Half the league gets in. Basically, you flip a coin whether you get in on opening night. There's a 50% chance you get in, 50% chance you don't. And I really think that there's teams in particular I really like right now. I think Nashville is a team to watch. They've been on a tear. I'm interested to see them tonight because they're playing my Islanders. I'm interested to see what they kind of look like. Because I unfortunately saw them. I've seen them a couple games now that I've been paying attention. They've been losing a little bit. But Nashville's a team to watch. Carolina in the East is really scary. I hate to say this because I keep saying it on my videos, but the last time I did a video on the Hurricanes last week, They have made it basically till April without losing consecutive games in 2024. So we are now January, February, March. We are 3 months into the year, and the Panthers have not lost consecutive games. I mean the Hurricanes. So I would say the Hurricanes in the East are really, really scary. And I would say the Predators in the West as really good teams that were way out of the playoffs and kind of walked their way back in. Cup favorites are easy. The Panthers, the Bruins, the Rangers, the Hurricanes. Those are all going to be the top teams in the East. Dallas, I would say Dallas and Colorado in the Central are really good, really scary. I can't be sold on Edmonton yet. I just need to see more from them in the playoffs, and I'll buy in. I really like Matthias Ekholm. I think he's really helped that blue line. And obviously, Stuart Skinner just needs to get it done in the playoffs. He's had such a good regular season. Hopefully, he's able to continue that in the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of good teams. Anybody that gets in has a shot. But great question, though, Robert. I appreciate that. Oh, my God. I didn't.
Today.
Yeah, that was this. Yeah, it was the matinee game. Wow. Did anybody watch the Tampa Bay Pittsburgh game to see the referee going unconscious with the hit from the Tampa defenseman? Let me know if you did. And one of the stanchions on the boards came out. TD Garden Ice Crew. Let's see if they can fix it. I think they did. Nice. And they're showing the last two times these teams met. 3-2 overtime win for Boston earlier this season, and then back in March, which was the game last 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was a game down in Florida, and that was a 4-3 regulation win for the Bruins in Florida. So a lot of these games close, 1-goal games. Kind of looks like we're setting up for that right now. What's going on, James? Thank you for joining us. James, here's your answer. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go, Islanders. I think the Islanders can do it. The problem is Nashville's been playing actually bad. And they haven't been playing their best. And they can clinch a playoff spot tonight with a win over the Islanders. Or a loss from St. Louis. But they're going to want to put this in their own hands. I think they're on a 3 or 4 game losing streak right now. So the Islanders got to be ready to play. If the Islanders are ready to play and they're ready to scrap, the Islanders can win this game. But it is not going to come easy. Nashville is going to be motivated tonight. They're starting a road trip. They're going to be ready to go. They're looking to get away from home because I think the last 3 or 4 games they've been at home and lost. So, unfortunately, it looks like a trap game, yes. But you know what's good, James? We were looking at the standings earlier. Yeah, and the Penguins won. But you got to remember last night, the Rangers helped the Islanders, right? Because the Red Wings lost. The Red Wings played the Rangers. The Red Wings lost that game. So technically, the Red Wings could have had 84 points right now. Washington lost last night. They lost to, I'm trying to remember, who did they lose to? And then the Flyers lost. The Flyers lost to the Sabres. So Philly could have had 85 points. Detroit could have had 84. Both those teams could have been ahead of the Islanders. And Washington. If Washington won, they could have had 84. And yeah, the Flyers lost to Buffalo. Yes. So when you put it in perspective, the Islanders got a ton of help last night. You can't rely on that every night, especially at this point in the year. Oh my God, Boston should have had a goal, and it didn't go over. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. Oh my God. Yes, and the Islanders currently have the third place spot in the Metro, which would mean they would play the Carolina Hurricanes, which is horrifying because the Islanders do not play well against Carolina in the playoffs. They do not. Oh my God. Oh. Gustav Forsling saved a goal. Oh my God. Washington lost to the Hurricanes. Thank you, Robert. Yes. That's who they lost to. 4-2. So, you're not going to get that kind of help every night, but that was critical because if any of those teams had won last night, the Islanders wouldn't have been in a playoff spot right now. So, it's the difference between either being third in the division or being completely out of the playoffs, which kind of happened to Philly last night because they lost. I want Isles versus Rangers. So that's really interesting, James. I don't know who you follow. Some of the Islander fan bases I follow, they would prefer to miss the playoffs than potentially get blown out by the Rangers. And I have to admit, it's easy like going into a series saying, yeah, I'm motivated, I'm excited. But if in hindsight we're looking at the Islanders getting swept or just in general beat by the Rangers, we will never hear the end of it, ever. So, as much as I would love for the Islanders to sneak into the playoffs and knock off the potentially President's Trophy winning Rangers in the playoffs, the reward would be so... And that's kind of the thing too, right? Like, it's the series for the Rangers to lose. If the Rangers were to lose that series, President's Trophy team, think about how bad that would look, prospectively. Right? They've been beating up the Islanders during the regular season, and then they get into the playoffs and they lose in the first round, and the President's Trophy curse continues. Oh man, that we're talking about. What was that? The JP Parise era Islanders, right? They beat the Rangers in the in the playoffs. I don't think it was the first round. Maybe it was, but the Islanders beat the Rangers, and the Rangers were Cup favorites that year, and the Islanders beat them. So. Is this the next iteration of that? I don't truly believe the Islanders are that team, but oh my God, how crazy would that be though? You think by taking out Sorokin a few games will help him? I think so. I hope he has just a good summer. He's had a tough year. Like, I was watching the Columbus game. I'm sure you were watching the other day too. Kirill Marchenko got that weird goal off the side of Sorokin. Like, that should not go in. Like, any good goaltender, that, especially one that was in the Vezina conversation last year, and Sorokin, you can't let those in. That's a weak goal. He's had a couple of those this season. Specifically in the Ranger game, they kept targeting his glove side, and he was not good glove side. I don't know if that's his weakness, and teams have been picking up on that. But that's something Sorokin has to work on in the summer because that seems to be an issue. That upper glove side, teams have been targeting that. We have 2 more games against the Rangers. Yes. 12:30 on Sunday next week. And then I think during the week on a Tuesday, I think the Islanders play the Rangers at UBS. No, oh, I thought that was just now. I thought the Panthers scored, but they were showing a replay. All right, so we have OT in Boston. The Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins. Let's see what happens here. So what is your guys' prediction? Who's going to score the goal? Who's going to win it? Let me know down below. Is it Bruins, Panthers, and who? I'm going to go Panthers win this game. Give me Sasha Barkov. Give me another goal for Barkov. I think the Panthers win this one in OT. Let's see what happens. Boston wins the opening faceoff. Marchand coming down. Kind of a gutsy twirl around pass, but a little bit fancy by the Bruins. Marchand coming in. Oh, man. Lindholm had room. And, here they come. Here comes, and Marchand saved the puck. They're coming back. Pasternak. Oh my God. Oh, that was a little close. All right, so there goes my chance of Barkov. I think he just got off the ice. So Montour, Bennett, and Kachuk. All right. Danton Heinen. Oh. Good chance for Danton Heinen. No goal. I also had a 3-minute empty netter in YGG. No at game. And couldn't close it out. That's not good. I believe you're talking about the Philadelphia Flyers game. Boston won. Okay. So number 70, is that Danton Heinen, I think? Let's see. It should be happening here in a minute. So Boston, I guess, is going to end up winning this game. Let's see what happens here. I assume it's coming up because he's on the ice. Oh, that's Boakfist. I got to see this. Oh, the Columbus game. Oh, here comes Boakfist. There you go. And the Boston Bruins in overtime. Is that Adam or Jesper Boakfist? Either way, the Boston Bruins win it over the Florida Panthers. That's a tough loss. That's a goal Bobrovsky's going to want back. The Islanders have been so bad all season at scoring empty net goals. It's ridiculous. It is. I think they have one empty netter the entire year. Bruins in the finals. I hate to say it. I think you're right. It could be Boston. And it is Jesper Boakfist. Thank you, Robert. I don't know how to feel about that. Because, I mean, it is kind of their redemption arc, right, from last season. Like, this, they should have gone to the Stanley Cup final representing the East last year, and they got bounced in the first round. So theoretically, this is the year, right? Kind of the switcheroo. Maybe this is their year without Marchand and Krejci, which is beyond crazy, but maybe maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, it was a nice shot by Boakfist, but that was a nice shot. I mean, your thoughts on Frozen Four winners? Did they play it already? I didn't know if they played it already, James. It's who is it? It's Denver, Michigan, BU, and Boston College. I think that's the Final Four, right? I think that's right. Let me know if that's right, James. But I think that's the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Michigan's always good, man. And I know Michigan State was good this year, but Michigan State was more the top pick. The one defenseman that's really, really good. And the rest of Michigan State's, I got to be honest, kind of mid. But I really can't say. I'm. It's hard for me to predict because I really didn't watch anything from Boston University or Denver. I do watch Big Ten, so I did watch Michigan and Michigan State and teams like that, but they're not in the final, so it's kind of hard for me to predict that. I mean, I think the Terriers winning it would be kind of cool. BU, yeah. Yeah, Boston College and BU. That's a big. I'm pretty sure that's a big rivalry in Boston. So that should be a really good game. Oh, they have to meet in the final. Okay. So the St. Louis Blues are playing like a team trying to make the playoffs. There's 3 minutes left in the first period. St. Louis has 13 shots. The Sharks have 4. Wow. And watch, the Sharks are somehow going to end up scoring a goal here. So is this it with this Isles team? We scrap the team next season. I think so. It's one of those things, James, because the Islanders, I just don't believe Lou Lamoriello is going to actually do it. I just don't think they're going to do it. Um, as long as he's there, the window is open. And that means the Islanders are going to go for it. So until Lou Lamoriello is no longer the GM of the Islanders, they're going to keep going for it. I just don't see Lou rebuilding a team right now. He's probably on his final years of until retiring at this point. What is he going to go to another team? This is probably it for Lou, and this is probably it for the Islanders. And that's why I'm so torn if the Islanders make the playoffs because what if they get humiliated in the first round? And if it's the Rangers or whoever, right, they get humiliated in the first round, you have to make moves. At that point, I'd rather them miss the playoffs and that being enough for them to say we need to make changes and just miss the playoffs than getting completely embarrassed and they're kind of getting their teeth kicked in by a team in the first round. So I'm really torn, but I'm starting to do my research on the draft this year. It sounds like it's Macklin, Celebrini, and everybody else. This year's draft actually might be good for the Islanders, though, because there's a couple of they're saying, especially in the upper half of this draft, there's going to be a lot of really good defensemen in this year's draft. And the Islanders need defensemen, younger defensemen. So I am under the impression that if the Islanders get a decent middle of the first round pick, in this year's draft, right? Whether they make the playoffs or get bounced in the first round, whatever. Get a good defensive prospect that could potentially be a top 4 blue liner in the future. And then next year, try and gun for one of those higher end draft picks, because there were guys this year everybody was talking about going into the season, like Cole Iserman and some of these other guys that just haven't really put up the numbers you were hoping for. And those were supposed to be the top forward prospects, and it just didn't happen. So I think defenseman is really what you're looking at the upper half of this year's draft. And next year. We'll kind of see what happens. Yeah, honestly, James, we need a little bit of everything, probably other than goaltending, right? We got Ilya. I think we're safe with Sorokin. It's a matter of everything else, because the Islanders are too old, they're slow, and it's pretty evident. Like, I don't know if you watched the game against the Devils a couple weeks ago, making Capo Kakinen look like a Vezina goalie, getting a shutout. I was there at UBS for that game. It was embarrassing. The Islanders are just so slow compared to the other teams, and even teams that aren't that good in their own division, like the Devils this year. Now, the Devils are a weird example, but like, they're just a quicker team. They have the skill, they're quick, they're fast, their transitions out of their own zone are really good. The Islanders just can't keep up with those teams. What happened? Get rid of everyone but Sorokin, Dobson, Barzell, Horvat. Yeah, I can agree with that, James. I know Dobson had a bad season this year, but you don't trade Dobson after this season. I think things are going to get better for him, just not right now. You know, I was really hoping for a better season from Wahlstrom this year. Would he develop into a scoring threat for the Islanders as a winger? Never materialized. Dobson improving to maybe become in the conversation for a Norris defenseman. That didn't happen. So I don't know if it's the lack of development from those guys this year or they just had a bad season. I don't know. We're going to find out next year, because if they have 2 bad seasons in a row, that's very telling. And specifically for Dobson. Wahlstrom, I think this year we learned what he is, which unfortunately isn't that good. Dobson, on the other hand, there is still a lot to say about Dobson in a good way, and I think a lot of people still see value in Dobson, even though he had a bad year. It happens. Lee's got to go as a captain. He should score more goals. As for Nelson, you can get a high draft pick. So what's tough about Nelson is he's one of your better centers, right? Like, and here's the thing. Here's where I have a problem. I would rather trade Pajot than Nelson, because Nelson, you have a great 1-2 punch with Horvat and Nelson. Now, third line center, you'd like to keep Pajot there, but try one of the younger guys you have you have this kid Ruslan Ishkov, who I don't know if you've seen his highlights. He's a good player right now in Bridgeport and could probably be a third line center on most NHL teams. And there's rumors he might go back to Russia this year. If he goes back to Russia, that's a huge loss for the Islanders. But if you could trade Pajot and then you put Ishkov in there, A, he's going to be cheaper than Pajot, and B, he's younger. He's more skilled. He's going to give a different dimension to this team. That's what the Islanders need. And I mean, I like Pajot. Yeah, people don't like Pajot. I get that. But as far as trading Nelson, unless you're literally getting a top 10 pick, but even that, it's not guaranteed that top 10 pick is going to even be any good. And Lee, I hate to say it, they're not going to be able to trade Anders Lee. It's not going to happen. There's just no value there. He's a bad contract, and I would say the only team he's willing to waive maybe a trade to is Minnesota, and that's a problem with Nelson too. I don't think both those guys are from Minnesota. I don't necessarily know if they're gonna waive a no movement clause if it's not going back home, and Minnesota doesn't have the cap space to get it done. So it's not going to be Minnesota. So now you need another team that's trying to become a cup contender that has the cap space to bring those guys in. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. And maybe I'm too pessimistic about it, but and the Mets with a 5-1 lead, now they blew it, and it's 9-5 Cincinnati. James, are you a Yankee or a Met fan? This is insane. The Mets suck. It is so bad. This is crazy. I can't believe this. Yankees, alright, good. So you and Robert don't have to deal with the misery of the Mets this season. This sucks. 5-1 lead for the Mets, and they're losing 9-5 on their final out. Yankees need a win. I don't even think it matters for the Mets, so yeah, maybe the Yankees do, but the Mets, it doesn't matter. They're so pitiful. This is This is ridiculous. Thank God I'm not a huge Met fan. I'm enough of a Met fan where it pains me, but it doesn't destroy me. Yankees, Raiders, Knicks. Interesting, you chose Raiders. Why Raiders? I like them too, honestly, but $50. Okay. Respect that. I was smart not being a Jet fan. Hell yeah. Being a Jet fan is brutal. Yes. All the build up last offseason was for Aaron Rodgers, and just the way things went, it was laughable. It was such a Jets thing to happen. And now I think I'm pretty excited for this year because I got that they got the guy from the Eagles, Hassan Reddick. So we'll see if he's any good this year for the Jets, because they'll be good and then they come to the Jets and things don't work out. They really just need a quarterback. If the Jets have a legit quarterback, they have a chance. They have a decent team now, but especially their defense was pretty good last year. They just didn't have the offense to do anything. Maybe that's the coaching too from Robert Saleh. I don't know, but 3 weeks till the draft. Yeah, that's going to be really good. I'm excited for the draft. I assume Caleb Williams is going 1, but I can't believe the Mets lost this game. They're disgusting. Gross. So, nothing is official yet. But I might be live streaming later. Stay tuned. If you don't follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to the community tab. I'll let you guys know where I'm at. I might do a short live stream later tonight around 9 o'clock. So if you're interested in that, if you'll be up, if you'll be around for that, I will be potentially doing a live stream around 9 o'clock tonight. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you to a bunch of you for showing up. James Farrell, Luis, who else was in here?
Hey.
Robert Greenberg, Ange, Daniel, your boy.